What is up, guys? Zan from the Zan Madden YouTube channel. And as you know, last week we were talking about match coverage.
So what else is new?
How EA put a patch out on October the 6th that was supposed to fix all the broken rules. And while it did a pretty good job, one of the most important rules of match coverage is what we call the box check. And we talked last week about how it was completely broken and, you know, it's something that is kind of a little bit of a pain in the rear to deal with as it pertains to defending corner routes at a compression set. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix your box check. Now, before we get into today's video, if you guys could do me a favor, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment below to help push this video out in the algorithm. It helps more than you know. The channel has been popping since the title update. You guys have been showing out a lot of great support. I can't thank you guys enough. I really appreciate you guys doing all of that. Let's get into the tip, how to fix the box check. With this, first and foremost, we are going to be obviously running match coverage. So you're going to want your match coverage setting to be on. Now with this, I would recommend that you guys choose quarters, palms, or cover 6. All three of those coverages utilize the box check against bunch formations. To briefly recap what we talked about last week, the box check is where we create a 4-on-3 utilizing the quarter flat, 3 rec hook, and the 2 deep zones on the bunch side to create the 4 corners of a box around the route combo, with Polamau being the low outside corner, Revis being the high outside corner, Kraus being the high inside corner, and Robinson being the low inside corner of the box. And this is a way that teams in real life will defend compressed splits with 3 receivers. In fact, it's probably the main rule that most Madden players tend to gravitate towards as it pertains match coverage. When you ask them how do you defend bunch, a lot will say, oh, quarters does a good job at defending corner routes at it. But the problem is, when we actually snap this ball, what you're going to see is that the box check doesn't really exist. In fact, you're going to note that I could throw this corner out wide open, and for some reason, the high outside corner of the box stays latched on to the seam route. In fact, you can see it very plainly right here when we zoom in. You see the 4 corners. And at this point, everything looks good. We would expect that if one of the 2 routes, whether it be Metcalf or Calvin Johnson, breaks to the corner to the outside, that Revis would stay the high outside corner of the box and match that route. But you see what ends up actually occurring is really these players are just locked into man-to-man. So the high points of the box are not playing their responsibility and they stay glued onto their man. And this is why we can throw the ball out to a corner route and pick up a huge gain. Now let's talk about the fix for how this works. In fact, we've talked about this before here on this very channel as it pertains more serious one-play touchdowns that players like to throw against quarters. So the issue that we have is the safety on the inside is matching the corner. We would actually like him to take the seam route, which is an easier negotiation of the box check. Again, those 2 high corners are crisscrossing. We want them to stay on their actual point of the box. So what we're going to do is on our user, we are going to man up the player that is confusing the safety. This is called redispersing the vertical attacking threats. Basically, the logic is this. When you have a player manned up already in match coverage on a offensive threat that a deep zone would normally take, that causes that deep zone to do what we call looking for work. So in this case, I am taking my user with no real intent of manually guarding the corner route, and I am making sure that it makes this safety not match him. And what ends up occurring is when the ball is actually snapped on this street corner flat combo, I'll still play the middle of the field, but the match coverage works the exact way that it's supposed to, and we're able to get our box check to work correctly. So this is a very simple fix that you guys can utilize against bunch sets to make the outside corner guard corner routes. We snap the ball. I, as the user with the red circle, am the low inside corner of the box. Take a look right here. Ball snapped, zoom out. You could actually, we're gonna zoom in now. You're gonna see the 4 corners of the box. I'm the low inside. Polamau is the low outside. Revis is the high outside. And now the safety, who was confused on the last play, is the high inside. We go ahead and let the frames roll a little bit. The corner breaks to the outside. The seam stays to the inside. And our corners of the box stay where they're supposed to be. And would you look at that? We're able to slow this down. we're able to get an animation and the corner route is shut down. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably saying, okay, well, what if they're running their bunch in a different manner? Like, what if they're using the corner strike type setup out of the West Coast bunch? So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. What we're going to do is still call our match quarters. The thing that you guys should remember about this is that if they're running the outside B receiver on the corner route, so a route combo, for instance, that maybe looks like this, you don't actually need to do anything with your box check. In fact, you'll see it work the exact way that's supposed to. I'm going to snap the ball here, and you will see that the outside corner, Revis, actually got beat on the cut, but he was playing his assignment. In this instance, if you are dealing with somebody that does mix up their player in terms of who's on the streak and who's on the corner, you'll note that the box check does actually play somewhat correctly. Again, you're going to want to be careful with, the player that you have in man coverage. Megatron's really, really good in this game, but you do see that the rules play true. Match coverage doesn't mean it's unbeatable. There's still man coverage versus route running that goes into it, but the assignment is sound. The reason that I want to lay this out for you is that in the event that you are running the setup in which we man up the inside player, the rule set is still true as it pertains to safety up top. So again, you remember in the last example, I manned up the inside guy. That causes Kraus to look for work. Sometimes that can be a little bit rough because when that ball ends up being snapped, you're going to see that because I've manned him up, that safety's like, oh, I don't need to guard him. And that can give up the one play touchdown over the top. In fact, that's probably going to look a little bit like our empty quarters bomb from yesterday's video. So be careful with that part. In fact, if you guys are going to really gamble on something like this, what I would recommend doing is you might go ahead and man up the point man, because that's the most commonly thrown corner route. And then go ahead and make sure that your safety that's on the backside plays a middle third. And the reason that you would do that is that in the event that you guess wrong and they do end up running their street corner combo like this, what you'll end up with is when they go to throw that busted coverage over the top, you'll have someone that can break on that throw and save you for an interception by kind of closing the blown coverage from the backside. And that could be a nice little adjustment that you guys can utilize to, protect yourself on the back end. Now, what I'm breaking down in this video is probably helping a lot of you guys out there. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. But if you guys are wanting more, this is just the tip of the iceberg as it pertains to my match coverage library over on gridirongameplans.gg. You guys can subscribe to the website for $9.95 a month, and it unlocks everything. It's all inclusive. That's every offensive and defensive game plan, including our match game plan with fixes just like this for a variety of different match coverage beaters. We got formulas for how to attack bunch. In fact, we are going to be dropping a massive update on matching against trips and setting up hybrid coverages for defending trips as well today. You guys could also unlock everything that is in our vault. Well over 80 tips so far and counting, with more and more coming every week. And it also unlocks our Discord where you can chill with the Gridiron Gang. Make sure that you guys use our voice servers for lab sessions, and you guys can attend lab sessions hosted by myself and some of our pros on the website that are going to take your questions about game plans or Madden in general to help you improve week to week throughout the season. You guys, again, can unlock all that for $9.95. So make sure you guys go check it out. Otherwise, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys later this afternoon or tomorrow with our next long form upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.